Hi, I'm Jordan. This is my February 2020 roundup. I skipped January 2020. It was just a really busy month and I didn't do one. I was on the Dice Tower cruise in January. I played a ton of games there. I posted a lot of pictures from my travels on my page, on my Instagram page, so you should definitely check that out if you haven't. But I skipped that month. It's all good. Everything's good. And I just wanted to touch base real quick and do February. I played a ton of really good games in February. When I came back from the cruise, I think I came back with like like totes full of games on the cruise. I also got like 3 boxes of games when I got back. So I had a ton of really great games to play all of February, and I've been enjoying myself. And I have even more to play because I haven't even cracked. Oh my gosh, I have so many games to play. And it's like the best problem ever to have, and I can't complain. But it's a lot of games, but it's awesome too. I think, where should I start? Oh, also, I did a giveaway. I did my first mystery box giveaway this month. I'm going to be doing these throughout the year. It's going to help me get rid of some games as I'm cycling games through, doing some more reviews. And I'm hoping to, boost some traction over here on my YouTube page, but also do some over on my Instagram page as well. So I sent a box to Gaming with Santana's over on Instagram. They won a box. I think I gave them Rolled West. What else was in there? Rolled West. Oh, the adventure games, the dungeon, and I can't remember the other ones. Just a couple. I think they got 4 games. I don't know. I liked most of them. I hadn't played one of them. It was just something that I probably wasn't going to get played. But yeah, so stay tuned for those. I'll be doing those more throughout this year. I'll also be having some other contests sponsored by some publishers. I think Tasty Minstrel's doing one with me. Stronghold sent me some games that I'll be doing some raffles for also. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. But yeah, so I played a ton of games. One of the games I'm still working through is the Shy Pluto expansion for Space Base. Space Base is one of my favorite games, if not I don't know. It's one of my favorite games. And this expansion is a campaign of sorts. So I'm playing through kind of with the same group. We are at least halfway through. I'm not totally sure how far we are, but we're pretty far. I think maybe we'll play one more time and we'll be done with it. I'm not sure though. But there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Check out my review whenever I'm done, maybe next month. Just kind of taking my time with this one. But there's some cool mechanisms. I like the new cards that they are adding. There's some cards that are kind of give you double bonuses, which is really cool. Some cards have diagonal arrows. I also have so I'll be honest, I also have the Command Station expansion, and I can't remember the difference between some of the stuff, so some of that might be in the Command Station. But yeah, Shy Pluto's cool. The story is fine. It's fine. Some of the new dice mechanisms I'm not wild about, but the new cards are awesome. I would always use the cards. It's really great. You just shuffle them in, and they're as easy to explain, if not easier to explain, than some of the original cards. So that's the Shy Pluto expansion to Space Base. That's great. Something else I got this month that really surprised me with this little game called Barrier Battles by K-Bob Games. I think this is the first and only game that they've created. I got this through Instagram. They just reached out to me and asked if I wanted to take a look at it. I had pretty low expectations because, you know, if it's a new publisher, a new designer, you never know what you're going to get. This is essentially Angry Birds, the board game, or a tabletop game. There's no board. And so you're building using these Jenga pieces, building up a structure, and then you have to flick these discs trying to knock over your opponent's structure, trying to hit into their king. It's a ton of fun. It's awesome. I talked to the designers. I think they're trying to shop it to some bigger publishers, and hopefully somebody will pick it up, because I think this one could be really cool. It is a really pure, just flicking dexterity game. There's some, that stacking and knocking things over. It's a ton of fun. It would do really well with kids. I've mostly played it with grown-ups, and it's awesome. So yeah, Barrier Battles. If you want to pick up an early edition of it, it's on their website. I think it's barrierbattles.com by K-Bob Games. But check this one out if you haven't. I really enjoy it. I got a couple Stronghold games to look over. These reviews will be going up in the next week or two. They'll be up soon. We had the second edition of Second Chance, which was funny. Second Chance Shelf was my old board game breakfast segment. But Second Chance is a flip and write game using Tetris shapes. So you're going to flip over 2 cards that have a Tetris shape. You pick one, draw it on your sheet, and you keep doing that over and over again until you can't draw anymore, or you can't draw anymore on your sheet. It's a ton of fun, really pure, really quick. Great. I really like this one. I also got Ripple Rush, which is a brand new game out of Stronghold. This is a flip and write game similar to Quicks or Quinto or Welcome To, where you're trying to line up numbers in order in a row to score points. This one is probably the simplest of any of those games I just mentioned. It plays the quickest of any of those games I just mentioned. And Quicks and Quinto use dice. Welcome To uses cards. This one also uses cards. It's very light, very quick. The box says 14 plus, and I have a feeling that just has to do with some sort of testing they did, because this game is super light and super simple. Another game, I got a bunch of games from Big G Creative to look over. I'm only about halfway through the games they sent me. They've all been super good. I really enjoyed Happy Little Accidents, the second Bob Ross game. They've done 2 Bob Ross games. That one's the party drawing game. I think I've talked about it before. I love that game. That one's a lot of fun. And so they're sending me some other games. I got Shifty Eyed Spies. This is my favorite of the ones I've played so far. This is a party game where you are sitting around. You have 2 cards. One is a location and one is another agent. Your secret agent's trying to complete missions. So I am trying to complete a mission with the secret agent that I have. So it might be pink. So I will look at the pink player and I want to wink at them. And then they are going to show me what location they have by glancing at the location standees that are on the table. And they're going to glance at it. And then when your turn comes around, you need to say whether you completed the mission or not. If you completed the mission, you would say, I did a mission with the pink player and we went to the cafe. And then I would flip over the pink player card and they would flip over the cafe card. And if we did that correctly, we both score a point. If we didn't do it correctly, we have to draw new and start again. It was a ton of fun. We've played this over and over again with my sisters and my nieces, and we just kept playing it over and over again, and they are hounding me to give them the game, and I will probably do that because I like them. But this is awesome. I think it's at Target. I think it might, I don't know if it's a Target exclusive, but you can definitely get it at Target. And this one is really good. It was really surprising to me. I really liked it. Finally played Mandala. I got this one before Christmas last year, and this is really good. This was one of the best games I played last month. It is a 2-player card game. It's in the lookout line, as you can tell. It looks kind of like a patchwork box or a trombone, which is another one of my favorites. It is, you're playing cards back and forth that have colors on them. You're trying to, each section of the board can only have one, a certain color can only be in one section of that section, if that makes sense. So on each, there's 2 sections on the board, a opponent section, your section, and then a shared section. So if somebody plays the green cards on their section, I can't play green cards on my side. If that makes sense. It'd be easier to show you. But you're just doing this. It has one of my favorite mechanisms in games that Trombone has. Also, I'm trying to think of some other games that do this, but it has player-controlled scoring. And so what I mean by that is players control when scoring occurs. So it's not after so many turns or after each turn we score or we score at the end of the game. This is when something occurs, when a condition is met on the board, scoring happens. And so players can kind of stall that, kind of like in... feels a little bit like Seven Wonders, or not Seven Wonders, sorry, Lost Cities, where you can kind of stall. You can do that in this game where you're playing some other cards that are, you know, matching the colors that are there because you're just trying to not play the one card that's going to score that pile. It's just really good. And then you draft the cards based off of what you played, and you're trying, and the points of the colors, the cards that you get later in the round are worth more points than the ones you get at the beginning of the round. You'll be collecting more of those. It's got it all. If you have not played Mandala, you need to check out Mandala. I have a feeling this one could be really good, really popular, but I don't think a lot of people have paid attention to it. But yeah, Mandala is fan-frickin-tastic. Fan-frickin-tastic. You can play that one. Another one I played by Tasty Minstrel Games is Chrono Corsairs. This one is coming out, I think, next week in stores. This is a time travel pirates game, which is not something was expecting to like. Well, no, I thought I would like it. It's not a theme that I was like clamoring for. So in it, you're pirates stranded on a desert island, and you're stuck in a time warp. So you're forced to replay the same day over and over again, like Groundhog Day. It's an area control game with programming. So you're going to be programming your actions. You take one action per time of day. So you do morning, noon, evening, and night, something along those lines. You program an action for each one. So you get some cards, program one action, and then you get to carry out those actions. Then the next round, and you move your people around the board to score points or score money, and then you clear the board, reset, and you do it all over again. You do that a bunch of times. This one also actually has that player-controlled scoring, because you could, depending on what cards you play, you could move the time tracker a little quicker. A little different, but it has a similar mechanism. But yeah, I was really surprised. This one was really good. I don't often like area control games, but this one did it pretty well, where you weren't so, because it cleared out every round, you had another chance. And also, you had the opportunity to change your cards periodically, which is good for programming games. A couple things I didn't care about in this one. The rulebook's not really great. There's honestly one tile in the rulebook that I still don't know what it does. I looked for it. I have a piece, and it has a name, and one of the cards tells me to use the piece, and I don't know how to use it. I don't know. I think Rado did a playthrough of this one, so maybe check that one out. Maybe I was playing something wrong. I really enjoyed it the way I played it. I think I have most of the rules right at this point. Also, the board is really tight. So you have a lot of these pirates that you're moving around the board, and the spaces are really small, and it gets jumbled up really quickly. So I wish the board was a little bigger. I wish the rule book was a little bit more clear. But ultimately, Chrono Corsairs is pretty cool. I'll be hanging on to this one for a bit. Yeah, by Tasty Minstrel. This one's coming out should be in stores in March. It's not going to Kickstarter. It's going straight to stores as far as I'm aware. Also, I picked up, this is the last game I'm going to talk about. This one was also super good. I think I only played good games. Only played good games in February. That's not true. But yeah, this one was really good. This is Adventureland by Haba. I don't actually know if this was in print. I think they were kind of liquidating stuff because it was on super sale at PAX. I picked it up at PAX. It is a game. I have not played many games similar to this, if any game similar to this. It has grid-based movement. You're moving these knights along the board, collecting weapons, collecting items, and then you're going to use them to fight these creatures. And you're marching from one corner of the board to the other corner of the board, but you can never go backward. So as you're looking at the board, you can go to the right or down, but you can never move up, and you can never go to the left. And so it makes for some really tough decisions about where you're moving. You have multiple knights, so you can always just move one too far and then the other ones. But it makes for some really interesting turns, and you're trying to beat people to these specific items that are popping up on the board. New items pop up every round, so you might be like right next to one, or maybe somebody can get there a little quicker than you can. It's really good. It's in their family line, so this is definitely not a kid's game. I'm going to try to play it with May, because I don't think there's any reading in it, and May has trouble with reading, so I don't think she would have too much trouble with it. I don't know if she'll be able to fully strategize, but I think she'd be able to handle this one. Yeah, so that's Adventureland. I also have a couple videos coming to the channel, my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for those. I'll be doing Kickstarter previews. I have 3 Kickstarter previews going up in March. The first one will be Skulls of Sedlak, which is the new Button Shy game. The one I have is a prototype, so I didn't want to show it to you guys early, but it is a micro card game, of course. I think it has 18 cards. You're doing a kind of a drafting, and then you're playing the cards similar to tiles, but it is different than a Circle the Wagons and Sprawlopolis, which are their 2 big tile-laying card games. This one, you're playing the cards in a pyramid, and you're going to score them based off of which row they're on in the pyramid. It's really good. I think this one probably is in it's probably my second favorite Button Shy game that I've played. Probably second to Circle the Wagons, because that's the best one. But I like it better than Sprawlopolis, and I like it better than Tussie Mussy, which were my other ones that I liked. So that one's really good. And then I'm also doing a couple littler ones. Disciple Detective, I'll be doing a preview for that one. And then Ketos, which is a really cool word game, kind of a Scrabble kind of card game. If you're into word games, I would definitely check out Ketos. I'm sure it's also going to be really cheap because the box is like this big. So that is what's coming for my Kickstarter stuff this month. I don't think I have any other Kickstarter stuff moving forward, but I want to roll. I didn't realize all three were coming out at the same time when I agreed them, but whatever. I'm going to get them all done. So I think that's it. That is February 2020, my roundup of what I did. I'll check back with you next month. If you don't subscribe to me, you should. Also follow me on Instagram. I just passed the 1,000 follower mark on Instagram, which is really cool. And I'm still not at my 100 subscribers on YouTube. So if you want to follow me, you should do that. Please. All right, bye.